Hey there, Pisces. This is Joy with Joy of the World, here to take an intuitive peek into the energies going on around you. Friends and subscribers, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, click that subscribe, baby, ring the bell. They'll notify you anytime I post new videos. Also, if you find you like the content we provide here at Joy of the World, give us that big thumbs up, like, and share with your peeps, your friends, your family, your neighbors down the street, your grocer, whoever. Help us get this message out about joy to the world, because it's an energy session for each person who tunes in, helping them step into their most bold, bright, beautiful self. You can level up into the true sun, the true star that you are, and shine and have all your beautiful dreams come true. All that being said, we know that there are some things going on right now. So we're going to take a look at the Cosmic Tarot to see what's going on around you. And then we're going to have a little peek of a card from Mercury to get a little voice in on a little bit of the ripple, because when I'm making this is when Mercury is going retrograde. Irregardless of when you tune in, it's letting you know about communication, connection, thought patterns, things like that lining up for you, okay? Just to be certain there, because these are timeless reads unless they are ever specifically timed and dated, okay? Even the Monday and Friday reads are not for that Monday and for that Friday. They're just 2 extra reads for the week, because some people only watch one of their zodiac signs, when in truth we are the whole wheel. We are the whole zodiac, and that is the Wheel of Fortune, baby. So let's take a dive in here and see what's going on with you, Pisces. Things have been a little spicy lately. They've been talking about, oh, you're already trying to talk. I see you. Pumpkin spice, things like that. Twice as nice. I'm going to get one more card. Everybody's been trying to step back into the tunnel of love. They were like, we were cut short. We couldn't have our spring fever and spring joy. And I'm like, I know. So now everybody's coming around feeling that little bit of frisky, and the season's changing. Okay, so let's get a look at what is going on here. Now, the card that, of course, is screaming at me is the first one that popped out. You're talking about letting the sun come all the way through, and that's quite interesting that we were talking about Mercury, the communication, because can you see how the reason it was finally over, all that was inflicted upon you, all that you endured is, we'll say the specifics of it is irrelevant. It's more about the mapping and the points that it landed. I'm sorry that you would pincushion a human voodoo doll, but this one is the money. This one is the mark maker, the music maker. No longer leaving you caught and trapped into that energy, no longer flogging and flailing in your mind, is literally the thing that lets the light shine in, lets you get your pivot point and your point of clarity to be able to move in this, to move forward in this, to take the momentum as a gift that it gave you and begin to move forward into your truth and into your light, because see, the sun is coming all the way through. And that's a bit of it, is you have one that's left that is yet to be self-inflicted, okay? Because you're showing me clearly now the majority of these are self-inflicted wounds. Do you see they're in the front body? Some of you, that could have been that related to the mother, because the front side of the body usually has to do with the mother that you came from, the mother figure that was around you, you know, the mother ideology that you worship, whatever it is. You know, it could be the mindset of, this is what a true mother and a woman should be, da 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 da. Because even when we fairy fluff certain things and paint it up, or maybe even create that own form of self-comfort to come in to serve ourselves, sometimes it can be our own undoing. So let's not put it neither here nor there as to what we assign good and bad, because remember, this isn't the logic mind, the dualistic mind, the polarized mind that plays against itself, Pisces. This is about coming into the whole mind, the whole self, right? And owning all of it, so that you can move in oneness, that you can move from a state of everlasting love, everlasting joy, everlasting peace, that spherical eternity, okay? So that's what you're wanting to say here. So this last one, that's the neat thing about traveling through the tarot, traveling through the time and the energies of this, is you have the option of putting it down. We can skip, hop, jump around, whatever. We don't always have to go through all the full stages, especially if it's something that is detrimental and harmful. The moment we wake up from our dream, we do not have to force ourselves to go back to sleep. Is that kind of ringing a bell and making a sense for you, Pisces? Making a sense? I know these lips, sometimes they make mistakes, like making a sense. Okay, so it's about tearing up old contracts is what I see going on here. Can you see that? tearing up old contracts, and some of those old contracts have been tearing you up, and that is the point of making yourself pay. You're leading in and you're playing your own self, playing some games here, and it's not taking anything away from the other person. What it is sometimes when we don't necessarily see how things started, we also don't know how to wrap them up and how to bring them to an ending. Some of you, it made you actually feel like you were somewhat crazy, out of sorts, hopeless, that you lost everything that mattered to you. If I pick it up, it's not letting me read it, so it wants me to leave it lying there. And that has kept you in the play pen, being played, being relegated to that type of energy of a karmic wheel spinning, of it round and round and round and round. And what I find in my wheels that show up, the Wheel of Fortunes in my deck, they really talk to me about progressiveness, about life, about assertiveness, about owning yourself and being able to be in your own authority and power. It's about being able to be playful. But of course, my sign is ruled by Saturn. So things like that can seem very playful to me and like, oh, goody, I want to do math for breakfast, that type of thing. But hey, that's the neat thing. You don't have to love it. I can take the wisdom that I've learned from it and bring it forward to you, and what sits right with your spirit, your guidance, your inner belly, your soul star is what will carry you forward. Not what I'm saying, but what you hear and what you absorb that is pertinent and relevant to your life. Okay, friend? So with this here, there is a hand trying to reach out, and it's almost like trying to make the future another problem, trying to make the future, you're saying a bugger, to make it a bugger. But that's the thing, is you can also turn it upright and make it a turning point. You can put like drawing a line in the sand. This is you making your mark, making your point, and telling yourself, this is my turning point. From here on forward. Thank you. I can pick it back up now. This is my turning point. This contract doesn't have to play all the way out, and me keep being played into the game, me keep being destroyed like chutes and ladders, that I have to go down, down, down in order for someone else to go up, up, up. That's not how it works. That's like leading into we won't start naming names because we have triggers for all those words, but that's not a relationship. Okay, that's not reciprocation, and it's not like a tit for a tat, or oh well, they did me wrong this one time, so I'm getting permission to peace out, Joy. I'm like, no, y'all know who I'm talking to. This is a long-term thing that has been going on. This is something that either, if it were shorter, it was very immense, very rich, very compact into a short period of time. But for some of you, this has to do with losing a house as well, or changing a house, or losing a house in a contract through a divorce, that type of thing, or feeling like your home, your safety, and your security was busted up. For everybody, that's not just divorce. Some of you, it was still having felt like you never belonged at home when you were a child, that you weren't warm and welcomed and comforted and received when you had heartbreak, or maybe moments that there had been, backstabs or other things that you needed someone to go to, and you might not have had that, because remember, the front side is the mother. So therefore, maybe you have been caught in that pattern of continuing to talk to yourself that way, like being short, being harsh, being pointed. Well, that's what you get. You really should this, and you have to that. Well, that's the thing, is once we know that we're in our own authority and we give ourselves permission, we can talk to ourselves like we talk to our friends and go, hey, would you like to such and such? Or, I had this great idea the other day. I think I'd like to da-da-da. And begin to converse with yourself that way. Or you can even ask yourself questions like, what would you like to do in this life? What does make you happy? What makes you feel good? What is a bedtime that you really feel the most refreshed, taking on, that type of thing. So begin to speak to yourself that way. That's a little shortcut. So we're going to let's get a rune on this one. This one's wanting to talk a little bit. I see you. Where'd you go? Okay. It melded back in. It's like, we ain't going to talk right now, Joy. And I'm like, okay. Let's get the one card for Pisces Ten of Swords here. Okay. There was some stuff left behind. You weren't even considering everything in this situation. There were some things left behind. And so you're saying better yet to let them go, rather than to have them tether you around the neck and become you're saying a sink stone, but it's like a millstone, like this giant wheel, like a stone wheel to suck you down and drown you. Okay? Better leave them behind is what you're telling me. So what is coming in for this Ten of Swords is journey. Take a look here. Okay, I want to see what this says. It talks about communication, reunion, perfect union, remove resistance, and let go of the past. So today it's really focusing on that first word of communication. So some of this is your self-talk, your soul talk. All right. And being able to be direct and truthful with yourself without having to be harsh, without having to be condescending, without being derogatory or breaking yourself down. Because remember, one doesn't have to diminish in order for another to increase. That's not, we ain't some stick shift car where we got to be shifting up on ourselves like that. The thing is stabilizing into who we are and realizing I don't need to place demands on myself. If I'm whole and abiding in myself and in my truth, I can talk to myself. I'm receptive, willing, and open. And that's that thing, is that the environment and the attitude through which I address and deal with and engage with myself is how I'm actually living with all those around me. I don't care how sweet you are and how self-controlled you are in front of others. It is that self-talk that ultimately you say, oh, joy becomes the soul talk. And what is that? That's the star. And we could think, yay, great star, because remember, the sun is a star, baby. This is very solar and lunar going on here, okay? Or for some of you, it is specifically Aquarius. This card didn't always read as Aquarius to me, but it can be that for you, or your Venus placement, okay? But see, it's shining, the light's shining around through, and the truth is coming on in. Well, look, the same thing's trying to happen here, but you're missing the message, baby. You've been missing the message for a minute. How do I know? Because when you were talking about communication, you were talking about those things flowing forth, and that dialogue that you have with yourself, it is pouring out and it is spilling, okay? And that has not been the thing to bring you into balance and to give you that, it didn't give you a leg up. It hasn't given you the advantage in life. You've disenfranchised yourself and put yourself at a disadvantage by not taking advantage of yourself. Now listen completely into those words. Because it is ourself, we don't have to take advantage. It's actually stated is that we're offering ourselves the advantage of leveraging the benefits of who we are. That's the point of understanding our wheel and our chart, the part of fortune, and those other things going on there, and tuning the streams to see what communication is coming through. Nobody just begins to bang on the piano if they're a master. They learn to play the streams and to move the streams, in that case strings, but the streams of our chart, to bring together this symphony, to be able to be on point, to be fully connected, to be receptive to the message, instead of just having to get a bounce back, because that's what you're showing me here. There's more of that bounce back going on, and so it leads you to miss some things. And when you miss out on a few things, some of those checkpoints are important. You think of it like a scavenger hunt. In a scavenger hunt, this clue that you saw, this riddle, this clue, leads to the next one and the next one. So there's been a lot of broken roads, as we can see here. These little game steps on the game board, these little broken checkers and pieces like that, that's what can create a lot of the heartache and the perpetuation of some of you are saying guilt, okay? Knowing that you could have listened, should have listened, when am I ever gonna listen? But see, that again, that's chiding, okay? So you don't need to chide or backbite yourself. You can just be like, whew, that really sucks. I feel it so strongly now. How quiet you were in suggesting that to me, self, of this suggestion, that now I see how it played out. I really do want to soften and begin to listen to you. Because when you do that, the attitude that you react and respond this time already dictates and negotiates the next one before it even comes, is the preparation that sets up the next scenario. So when you soften into it this time and you're receptive to learn even after the fact, it begins to change the setup for the next time, okay? So that's what you're talking about here. And at that moment, then the flamingo begins to light up. And it's like, good enough water for me, baby. An inch is enough for me. And so that's the inspiration of the high heart coming in, going, okay, I got it now. I got it now. I understand the tree of life, and I'm getting the pure Swedish Chef. If you haven't ever watched the Muppets, go tune in, baby, because maybe you need a laugh more than what you're getting right here. Join in me, friend. So anyways, at least your tree of life, okay? And that is now, it's carrying us over to you, because you are that tree of life. The tree of life is very much, it's like once the eye God activates and you understand the streams of your chart, not holistically forever and ever and amen, you understand how to play music. It begins to turn, it unlocks, and that seed opens. And through that, the treasuries, the life, the roots, the whole thing. So you're wanting to show us who you are. And now look at you. Look at what you pour. And now you're like, baby, temperance is like that sun and that moon. You talking symphonic stereo up in here, baby. Look. Look. That's you. The symphony of life, Pisces. Let me move my head so you can take a better look. Let me get out the way. You see it there? The symphony of life. Because here, I don't want you to focus on any of this. This is already done. You don't have to be a voodoo pin cushion. Nobody's whipping boy. No kicking post. No hitching post. None of that, okay? It's about the light. It's about the light and your pure high heart coming forth and the high heart coming forth here. And I'll set these down because it brings together this. This is called you being in stereo. This isn't wait. This isn't slow down. This isn't figure it all out. This is literally, listen, you've done quite a bit of pruning. That's so much of what was going on in these other two cards here. A little bit more we can say than you should have, but I'll say a little bit more than what was necessary. But life has a way of making amends for us. Our heart has a way of creating miracles and bringing forth things that shouldn't be, okay? And now I see this lighting up back behind me. Isn't that amazing? So this is your own stream, okay? So when all those, you are the symphony, you are the movement of the music. That is your stream. And see, that's why the breasts are bare here, and they're perky and they're young. So let me put my shoulders back. They're confident. They're boastful and not in a braggart type way. Is literally the confidence of self, the self-assurance of, to me, humility is knowing who you are and what you're here for. It's like if there were a sign-up sheet for a work project and you know what you're good at, you're like, oh, I'll do that, because you know you can really contribute a lot to it, and that frees up somebody else to be in their shining star, their state of exaltation, right? And so you knowing that, it's really very innocent, very pure, very sincere. What you talking about, that crown on your head? So we're gonna, I knew we were gonna, Marielle's been waiting. So we're gonna take one little peek at this Marielle. Oh, the ibis is in the background. Okay, I see you. So it's more about, this is our representative, but we're going to see the statement. So the statement is the Nine of Swords, the Sun, and Death. So this is what's back behind the well. The well is almost like a portal into this new world, and it's a secret portal. It's your own place. It's your own connection to yourself, because remember, all this pouring water that we had going on here, all this self-talk leading to the soul, that the Five of Cups, which this is the dual unicorn. This is the unicorn relationship with another, the being able to fully connect to create the circuit of life. Not the circle of life, the circuit, baby. Okay, because we want to power up. We don't just want to go round and round. There's a reason for this. It's about the energy contained within. That's the energy here. And this is about the Nine of Swords here is about this new life, this whole new world, and see the trees of life going on. It's more than just you. You're having community. You're having others. You're being able to have dialogue, like healthy dialogue, things that excite you, passion, connections, friendships, community, that sort of thing. That is what this is about, is leaving the difficulty, the resistance, the struggle, and all that behind here to step into this eternal sun, the everlasting sun, thus the eye of God, right? And that's why death has shown up. Death isn't like an ending here. It is literally like stepping into the eyes of eternity, the face of eternity, and here these are the gossamer threads. It's like heaven on earth, being able to be fully suspended in that energy. Just like our organs are fully suspended in something very similar to that. It's what keeps everything comfortable and at ease when we ourselves are at ease. Okay, Pisces? So with this Five of Cups, the key, they're pointing this time. I'm not sure if you can see on the belly, that is the key of Chiron. So check out where your Chiron is for this week, Pisces, not for this week. We all know Chiron being Aries, so maybe you could tune into the Aries reading. But for some of you, it is where's Chiron in your chart. Wherever Chiron is in your chart, tune into that reading this week, because it's almost like this is going to be continued. All right, Pisces, I like that little dash of mystery you put in there at the end. Hey, I love you. Check back in with me soon.